Welcome back, Sleepers of the Sands, to a quick look at all the new features being focused on in the Dune Public Test Client's 1.2.30.0 patch notes released earlier today. Now, as always, not every little detail is guaranteed to reach fruition in the stable game build. However, it is always worth noting exactly what the team over at Funcom are looking at and addressing on the test client to measure up the future of our game. And this patch brings some truly game-changing features, starting with the one you've all been waiting for, the character transfers. That's right! You can now move your characters along with your entire inventory and bank contents, and yes, that includes all of your Solari to a new siege and a new world. This is a massive step for player freedom on Arrakis. Moving on to base building, they are allowing us to expand our creative options with the new observer building pieces. The vendors over in Arrakis and Harko Village are now stocked with various pieces of the sleek observer building set, all available for purchase at 2,500 Solari a piece. Get out there and give your bases that cutting edge look. And for our logistic masters, we have a great new addition to the vehicle roster, the Carrier Ornithopter Cargo Container. They have added this crucial component to the Plastinium tier vehicle category in the tech menu, making it easier than ever to haul vast amounts of resources across the map, and it's definitely worth testing just to make sure that there are no issues with crossing over into different servers. Now, for a vital safety update, before you commit to any long journey, our new storm warning feature is here to protect you. The travel confirmation dialog will now display a clear warning message if a dangerous sandstorm is present at your destination, giving you a chance to reroute or wait it out, so no more logging into the middle of a hurricane and your ship getting destroyed before you can pocket it. And in the heat of combat, they have improved your mobility with the dash from stun fix. No more awkward forced backward dash when you're stunned. Now you should be able to dash out of a stun in the precise direction you input it to go, whether you are on a keyboard or a gamepad. And finally, for all of you Sandcrawler pilots, we have a small but significant buff. The dampened Sandcrawler tread schematics will now grant 2 charges upon usage, helping you keep those mighty machines moving longer between repairs. And now, to step in there and take a closer look at the logistics of this exciting character transfer feature test, which is being introduced to us to allow everyone to understand exactly what they need to expect and how their participation is going to help. The Funcom dev team specifically is focusing on stress testing this new system because they more or less have temporarily opened 2 brand new dedicated worlds in both the EU and the NA test regions. So there is going to be a Transfer World 1 and of course Transfer World 2. So please note these test worlds are stripped down for simplicity. They contain only 2 sieges within the Hagga Basin, just enough to facilitate the transfer process itself. It is also important to know that these worlds will be permanently closed once they have concluded the character transfer test, so if you do have time, download that public test client, jump in there, and just throw this thing against the wall as many times as you can for like a few hours. Remember, the more of us that are in there testing it, the less likely this thing is going to destroy our game whenever they start putting it into the real test client as well as the actual real game in the future. So the more the merrier in this case. Now, of course, once Funcom has, of course, decided that the character transfer process is stable, they're going to integrate this into a longer term public test client, which they are claiming will be launching with the base replicator tool in it itself. However, we don't know that for sure. We're just going to have to take their word for it and hope that they are working out whatever chinks are like holding that process mechanic down. And once you get that, they claim that we will have access to transferring full inventory, bank contents, your Solari balance, and the contents of both your vehicle backup tool and that base replicator tool as long as they are inside of your inventory. And of course, if you are wondering how to get this whole process rolling, you will begin the transfer through the systems menu in game. Now, before you jump everything over, you are going to get a loss warning of anything that's not going to be carried over with you. That is going to be including your character's name, because if that name is already taken on the target server that you're trying to jump to, you are simply going to be prompted to have to enter a new name. So this could be a way to get rid of that old name that you don't like for free, or be very upset because you have to spell your name in a different way. Now for the crucial detail, which is base transfer limitation. Now, the base reconstruction tool is still, unfortunately, not yet in the current build. This means that during this initial test, you will not be able to transfer your constructed base alongside your character. This is precisely why they haven't opened the main test server yet. More or less, they want to be clear. They will launch the main test server as soon as the necessary backup tool has been integrated and proven to work without, losing all the files and just completely blinking out all of your characters. They want to make sure stuff is working before you jump in there and waste a whole bunch of time transferring into something that is going to make you lose all of your hard-earned work. And in addition to player transfers, we are also getting a lot of other new content which we're going to be able to play around with. First off, as previously mentioned, we have the Observer building set. This is offering every single Observer building piece that you can get out there for 2,500 Solari a piece. This means that you're buying each piece for 2,500 Solari. So I don't know how much you feel like grinding on the public test client, but if you want to get them all, they will be there, which is also a good sign that they will probably be introducing this into the main game here pretty soon as well. We will also be getting the new containers. Now, you can build this new massive cargo container using a welding torch. It's going to hold a large volume of items and is ready to be transported across maps by the Carrier Ornithopter. Now, this was mentioned in the last patch and was supposed to be put into the game, but it never was for whatever reason. They didn't give us a reason why, but here it is now in the public test client. So if you have a chance, I know I'll be out there testing to see how durable it is with carrying stuff. So I'll let you guys know if I'm losing anything as I'm flying across the continent. And finally, new base defenses, because Funcom is increasing the height where sandstorms do damage, which will help prevent base building in areas where they shouldn't be allowed. I suppose people have been building bases above the sandstorms. I don't know. I've never seen it, but obviously this is something that they have to address. So if you are one of those people building high in the sky, please let me know how you're doing it and see if this is going to be affecting you in any given way. There's also going to be improvements to combat and vehicles. One example is the activating of pre-science is now instantly going to clear existing poisons and all poison stacks off of you, which is good. I think that's what it was originally supposed to be doing anyways. Those Carrier Ornithopter Cargo Containers are going to have 150 slots and allow for 15,000 metric volume for items. So this is like really big. 15,000 is a pretty large volume to be carrying around. So that's going to be interesting. There's going to be improvements to the treadwheel passenger seat to prevent players from getting stuck when the NPCs are nearby. And finally, that storm warning, which was mentioned earlier. This is a great feature because it means that traveling confirmation dialogues now warn you if a storm is at the destination you are aiming for. I'm guessing this is going to be something like coming off of the overland map into it, because obviously it can't really determine where your path is going to take you if you're just flying around your seat or whatnot. So we'll see what's going on. Story and UI are also getting a little bit of a fix because they are addressing issues where Atreides players were able to pick up contracts with Anton Tolliver that they had already completed while with House Harkonnen before a betrayal. This should now be prevented from people doing so. And for the first time, logging in after any new chapter or patch, a helpful patch notes highlights pop-up will now appear in the main menu to summarize the most important changes that you've just heard right from above. And finally, some important fixes that are being implemented into this patch. You can now dash out a stun with directional input. They have fixed issues with missile launchers, target lock, and a sneaky exploit that allow players to shoot crouched from behind cover as if they were standing. This is a huge one. In addition, the dampening Sandcrawler Tread schematic will now be offering 2 charges, plus vehicles can now be recovered for up to 30 days, giving you much more time to get them back. They also fix players falling into their Sandcrawler when exiting while driving backwards. They've also fixed various visuals and clipping artifacts with Chome Observer and Dune Man building pieces, and corrected a rare issue causing players to have invalid unpaid taxes. The door in the Forgotten Lab also now opens properly. The several story contracts, including the radiation report probe being stuck under the sand, have also been fixed, so we now have access for those things too. And that wraps it up for the public test client update, as well as the things that we need to do to jump in there and help Funcom make sure that the game is running smooth in the future. So remember, if you do have time, jump out there and throw this game against the wall by transferring as many characters as you can. Let's just try to break the entire server and see if they need to fix anything for us. If there's anything in this patch that you have felt is relevant or irrelevant or something that I've missed, please make sure to leave it in the comments down below. I am more than happy to hear everyone's opinions on these things. Also, I'm glad that everybody is jumping in here and leaving comments in general. So keep up the good work, everybody. Let's keep all of the spice flowing and have a great day.